Hi, my name is Miss Christie. I am a teaching artist. Today we will be talking about the shapes that our bodies are made of and creating a puppet of ourselves. This video is part of the Acadiana Center for the Arts virtual arts series, where artists like me bring you lessons in music, dance, or visual art that you can enjoy anywhere. The materials that you'll need for this lesson I'm showing here in this picture. You'll need a variety of bright colors of construction paper, scissors, glue, tape, a pencil. If you want to use crayons to color some of it, you can, or colored pencils. You'll need popsicle sticks or wooden tongue depressors. You'll need a few of those. You'll need something called brads that you can get from a place like Office Depot, or you can use twist ties like for your bread bags or trash bags. If there's ever a point where you need to stop and catch up a little bit, pause the video and then start right back up again whenever you've caught up. Today we are going to be learning about how our bodies are made up of shapes. If you look around in nature, you'll notice that everything is made up of shapes. If you just look for those basic shapes that we all know, circles, squares, rectangles, ovals, triangles, there's lots of different shapes in just our faces. So today we're going to learn how to look at ourselves and see what shapes we're made of. Whether you have long hair or short hair, light hair or dark hair, curly hair or straight hair, we're going to talk about how to recreate that. If your face is round or oval like mine, we're going to talk about how to make shapes like that. So we're going to be using bright colored paper, and we're going to be connecting these pieces of paper to create a puppet. So let's get started. Okay, here we go. So I've decided to use blue for my clothes. I have a piece of paper here that has been cut down. You can see that there's 2 halves, and then there are 4 quarters, which is 4 equal pieces. And it's important to know why we're doing this, and that is so that we get the right sizes for our shirts, our pants, our skirts, our shorts. We get the right sizes for the hair and all of the different faces that we might make with different emotions and different hairstyles. The first thing we're going to do is fold this piece of paper in half. It's a good exercise for learning how to understand fractions. In math, we study that when we have one whole and we divide it into 2, we get 2 halves. 1, 2. So we're going to cut this in half. Remember to hold your paper steady while you're cutting. And then we're going to use this half. Fold this piece in half. So go ahead and do that. Fold it in half. Go ahead and cut that in half. So we're going to start with these 2 halves. And you're going to use a pencil. You're going to draw a small dot here in the middle at the top of this piece of paper. Put a dot on the other one. And we're going to be using this with our ruler to draw a triangle. So position your ruler from the right corner up to the dot. And I'm going to use a pencil to draw that one. And then move your ruler over. Always remember to hold your ruler steady whenever you're drawing a line. It'll help keep it straight. And do the same thing on the other side. You're going to draw a line from the corner to the dot. from the other corner at the bottom to the dot. Take just a minute and cut these out. There's one triangle. Two triangles. All right. Now, we're going to turn these triangles to where they're pointing to each other. See that? Next, I want you to cut off just a little bit of this point of the triangle, right there and right here. And that is so that we can get our hole punch in there and punch a hole. See that? Same thing on this side. Position that right in the middle at the bottom of that triangle that we cut the tip off and put a hole. Okay? The next step for this part of the body, we want the body to be able to move and dance, to move and groove. So we are going to put a brad, and a brad is almost like a little pin, but it has two little pieces that open up. You see that? Keep it closed and push that through both of those holes. Flip it over and open it up. See how you can open it up like that? And it allows our torso, or our middle part of our body, to move. I have here a few examples of the other things that you can make. You would cut out these shapes and color in some of the details. You can add in buttons. Let's leave that like it is for right now and talk about our head. Look at all these beautiful faces. Tell me, what shapes do you see? I see a lot of ovals too, and circles. So what we're going to do is pick a color for our face, our skin, and I'm going to choose green, just like Susan David used in her mural at the Hilliard Art Museum. I'm going to use green also. So I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to fold it in half, just like I did before, matching up the two corners here and here, and fold. Fold and then cut. And then take one of those, fold and cut. This helps us get even pieces of paper. And then how do we make an oval out of this? So if we take this rectangle and we fold it up again, we're going to end up with the right size. How do we know if it's the right size? Well, our head is about as big as just the top part of our body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, cut it in half, and I'm going to use this piece to make my head. So I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to draw an oval. Can you do that? It doesn't have to be perfect. It might be a little too big at first, but it's better that we have it a little too big than a little too small. So then I'm going to cut that oval out. I'm going to try to get rid of my pencil lines. Alright, there we go. So there's the start of my head. Remember, we're going to be adding hair onto this, so we'll need a little extra at the top. What about the neck? The neck is the same color as the head, so I'm going to use that other rectangle that I cut, and I'm going to cut a small rectangle off of there, just like this. See that? So I'm going to position this behind the body just to make sure it's sort of the right size. Yeah, that's about right. Punch a hole right about where our mouth would be. So I want you to put the oval in the hole punch or use your scissors, and you're going to put a hole right up here. Remember, you want to leave some room for your chin. Alright, be right there. I'm going to use my hole punch. Alright, I'm going to punch a hole in what's going to be my neck on one side and the other. Okay, so I can take a brad, and I'm going to put the neck piece behind the head piece. Turn it over. Open up those little tabs on the brad. And there's the head. Then I'm going to also punch a hole here in the top part of the body where the shoulders are. So you can flip that over, punch a hole, and put another brad. Turn it over, open up those tabs. There we go. Alright, it's already starting to look like a person. The shoulders are still a little bit wide, and if you want to make yourself more round, you can. You can round off all these corners like that and like that. Okay, I'm going to leave the bottom part like it is. So this is going to be your puppet. You come up with your own ways of making your outfit. This could be a dress. I could cut it and make it to where it looks like pants. The next step is we are going to make some arms. And again, I'm going to use the color that I'm using for my skin, which is green. And I'm going to cut some thin rectangles. I'm going to cut 2, 3, and 4. Now, why am I cutting 4? Why do you think I'm cutting 4 pieces for my 2 arms? Well, it's because we have the part that connects to our shoulder, and then we have the part that connects to our elbow, our forearm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch holes in both sides of these 2 rectangles. 1, 2. 1, 2. You go ahead and try that. Remember, if you ever need to pause the video and catch up, if you're punching out holes, okay, I've punched out the holes for my arms. And I'm going to go ahead and join the arms at the elbow first. So put your little brad in there, open it up. And do the other arm. Okay. If it seems like your arms are too long, then they might be. And you can always cut a little bit off. So I'm going to cut that part off because I still want to add something that'll be my hands. There, that's better. Shapes. And if you're ever trying to draw or paint a picture of yourself, try to look at yourself in terms of shapes. What shapes are you made of? The next thing I'm going to do is connect my two arms right here where my shoulders are. So you can punch a hole there, and you can punch a hole here, and you can attach your arms to your puppet. Put that right in, open it up. Put this one in. So, what's next? How about our legs? So, if you want to make pants, think about what shape your pants are. Are you wearing shorts? It might be square, a square or two squares. If you're wearing jeans or long pants, it might be that they are two longer rectangles. So if I was making pants, you can take this, you can have it be just the pants, like that, or you can make two different legs and join them to the torso and cut this part off. I am going to make some green legs for my legs. So think about how you can represent who you are with this. See? So I think that would be the right length of the legs. So I'm going to make a little mark that this is where I want it to stop. And I'm going to punch my hole above that. Now you could do this to where you have knees that move. That's up to you. You're going to punch holes here and here. Put that right in. I've made this different ways to where I glued the legs onto the back of the dress or the pants or the top part of the pants, and then put on movable knees. So my knees would be here. Fold that in half so I end up with the same size. I'll end up with equal lengths for my rectangle for the bottom part of my leg. That's for the knee. This knee. All right. Okay, so then what? Now let's think about the hair. I said I wanted to do my hair purple. Now, what kind of shapes do we have? There's so many different hairstyles. My hair is short and I have bangs. So when I do my bangs, they're going to come across the top of my head. Now, how do I do that? What you want to do is you want to think about what shape is at the top of your head. Is it square? No, it's more rounded. Part of that oval that our head is. But my bangs go straight across. What I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how much of this needs to be for the front part of my hair. So I think it's only going to need to be about that much to there. So I'm going to make a little mark with my pencil. And then that's about half of this piece of paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that in half and cut it. Alright. Okay, look like I have a big hat on top of my head. But I'm going to make this a semicircle. Have you ever heard of a semicircle before? How can we turn this rectangle into a semicircle? So I am going to start on this right side and I'm going to turn my paper as I cut around to the other corner. So there's the front part of my hair. But that doesn't look like it's finished, does it? So I'm going to use this piece of scrap that I still have in my hand, and I'm going to figure out how the back of my hair is going to look. So I think, again, it's going to need to kind of be a semicircle. My hair is longer in the back than it is in the front. And make another bit longer of a semicircle. But I have a lot of hair, so I'm going to take another piece and put it behind there. And my hair is a little bit longer. It probably goes almost down to my chin, but not quite. So this is just about right. I'm going to draw another semicircle. See how I did that? I started from this corner and I went all the way around. Okay, and cut it out. Say like a long hair, a lot longer than when I'm doing my hair as. Then you are going to cut a longer piece, but kind of in the same way. So, for example, if you're going to be doing your hair orange and you want to have long hair, then you would just draw a semicircle like this, a much bigger one, cut that out. And then test it out. See. So if I were going to put my hair as having orange hair with purple bangs, look how good that looks. That's cool. If you want to do pigtails, how would you do pigtails? You like an M. No, you would do kind of like an M. So many different ways to do this. Cut that off. If you have bangs, like that. Boys, for whether your hair is blonde or brown or black, You can do your hair a similar way. So I'll show you with a black piece of paper. You can, again, you're going to use a semicircle. And then just a little bit in the front. Kind of depends on what your hair looks like. If you have a lot less hair than that, what if it's just that on top? So we're pretty close to being finished with the major parts of our body and our hair. I keep my purple hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, whether you're using a glue stick or the liquid glue, you just got to make sure that you put enough, just enough for it to stick. So here's my bangs. I'm going to flip it over. And put some glue on the back. And put my first piece. And then I'm going to put my second piece that makes my hair just a little bit wider and a little bit longer. And you can keep layering your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my face. So our eyes, what shape are our eyes? Are they just round circles? No, they're kind of like football shapes. So I'm going to draw two sort of football shapes and then put circles in the middle. And then just for your nose, you can just do a kind of curved line. Like that. To make some little shoes, you can cut some very small semicircles. You can see I made a whole bunch of different faces with different colors, different hairstyles. You would cut wavy pieces for wavy hair, and you would cut straight pieces for straight hair. The last thing you need to do is put on your popsicle sticks. So if you have the tongue depressors, it's just a bit wider than a popsicle stick. And you're going to want to tape these. You just want to make sure you go around both of those sticks together so that they stick. And it makes one long one. And then on the back of your puppet, you're going to put that on the back of the head. Go ahead and tape that in two places. So you're going to put one here and one here to make sure that it stays. So there's my puppet. Dance, dance. You could do a little animation with these, make a whole bunch of characters, and put on a little play. To get different facial expressions, I made some extra faces to go on top. It'll hide the Brad on her face. You can add in different emotions. So I have one here that's a sad face. So you can add that on, and your character is sad. I have another one that the character can be mad. But right now, I am very, very happy with my puppet. She is ready for the stage. Thanks for creating with us today. Be sure to come back next week for a new virtual art studio.